you have people who think that the only reason the United States supports Israel is because of some evangelical nonsense. Yeah, I mean, okay, you could say that that's one thing. But as I said, I think one of the main reasons is because Israel was put right in the middle of the Arab world to sow chaos, right? As I said, the British, they leave the mandate in Palestine in 1947. And then we're in 2021. There's been no peace, since then. Where's the Palestinian state? There's nothing. So go look at the map as well in Africa. Go look at the map in the Middle East. You have all these countries with borders that look extremely weird. You have straight lines, like someone drew it with a bloody ruler. That's what happened, right? Again, Africans did not draw their own borders. Arabs did not draw their own borders. Europeans, Westerners drew these borders for them. And they did it specifically in a way that, they divided countries based up on sectarianism. They want to divide and conquer, right? To pit brother against brother. So they start creating these issues which were not that apparent before. Not non-existent, but not as apparent. There's a difference. You understand? The same thing in Iraq, for example. You go and look at Iraq in 2003 after the invasion, right? It takes a year or two, but then all of a sudden, even this sectarian violence exploding. Yeah, but it wasn't this bad before. It didn't exist at this degree before. No one can reasonably argue this, And so this is what Western intervention, Western imperialism does. Intervention is such a way to whitewash it, It's imperialism, right? So they come in and they encourage and they create more sectarian issues than there were before. And this is how they maintain chaos in the region. They divide and conquer. And so going back to Israel is right smack in the middle of the Arab world between Morocco and Iraq, or if you want Morocco and Saudi Arabia, Look how it's created chaos for Lebanon, for Egypt, for Jordan, for Syria, right? For Lebanon, for Palestinians. I mean, it goes without saying for Palestinians. Number one for Palestinians. Until today, you still have the Syrian Golan Heights illegally occupied. You still have Palestine under illegal occupation. This is one of the reasons why the West supports Israel, because they want to maintain a base there. They want to maintain a construct that makes sure Arabs cannot develop, deeper relations with each other, that they cannot have long-lasting peace. And as I said, this goes back many decades now, many centuries. You had British and French rule after the Sykes-Picot when they divided up the Middle East. They stayed there for 20 years. And then they before leaving, they just put Israel and then leave. And, just look at what's happened since. And before that, you had 400 years of the Ottomans. So, there's a long history, unfortunately. And, Arabs just want some peace and stability. Palestinians want dignity. They want their own country, This idea that other people on the other other side of the planet should decide whether they can have a country is fucking ridiculous, I don't accept this. I reject this completely. This idea that Tony Blinken goes on CNN and he's dictating whether Syria can have its Golan Heights back. Fuck you. We've had enough of this colonial bullshit.